Vehicle training completed. Warp drive active. 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 Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Sorry, I wasn't watching the comments. Hey Arcana Bot, how's it going? Long time. Hey. Okay. So Tevis Jack, he wants me to go back to Sister Alitura. Okay, let's go do that. Oh? Okay, I have to go to Tevis Jack. Right. Dock. It's pretty scary. Look at all these capsules are here. Galente shuttles. None of them. Why? I think they're all player shuttles too. Very chill, they never figured out how to play this game. It took me a little while to learn how to play this game. But it's actually not too bad. It's alright.
Warp drive active.
I bought a new skin. I managed to save up 1 million ISK and I got this amazing blue, navy blue skin. It's like chrome colored too. Looks pretty good for a drone boat.
Warp drive active.
First person camera. Woo.
Warp drive active.
I'm having a lot of fun actually. It is pretty fun. A lot of warping. I think my last live stream, I think like 90% of that was just me warping around everywhere, buying parts for my ships. I really need to find a better home base. Where do I go now? It's scary to just be hanging around here. Could get sniped. Oh, Tennis Jack. Where is he? He's here. Okay.
Warp drive active.
No Man's Sky would be I would play No Man's Sky if it weren't for the art style. The art style is too childish for me. How come there's two Tevis Jacks? Celestial Agent. Just got a message from Sister Alitura. I sent her that weird data core you found at the site. She says they weren't able to decipher it. Pity. Still, she's very interested in consulting with you, so do go do what she wants. The sisters are good people. Okay. Let's talk to Sister Alitura again. Set that as destination.
Warp drive
And off we
active.
go. Yeah, that'd be the dream.
Warp drive active.
I need to add warping to my game, Project Nova. That'd be cool. Definitely way out of scope though. Some kind of interesting
Warp drive
travel system.
active.
Some people say Star Citizen exists, but it is fun though. I don't really hear a whole lot of people playing Star Citizen. I feel like it's more for like rich people to show off their ships than anything.
Warp drive active.
This game looks cool even though it's just warping. There's combat too. Just you wait. Maybe in another 30 minutes after all this warping, I'll be able to kill something.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
How did I get all that money? Where is that from? We have another crew member located. The ship's janitor, Nebin Centrion, is stationed at a small outpost. We hope he'll have a lead on where some of the other personnel are recuperating. In light of what happened to Red, I'd like you to bring him back here once you found him for his own safety. You understand? Okay, we go there. Drop off Nebin. No, we go there, kill pirates, find Nebin, bring him back here. Alright, let's go. Sounds like we're on a rescue mission of sorts. Look at that ship. Yeah, ship is Looks like we have some enemies, possibly. Yeah, we do, okay. We need to start orbiting them. Orbit, log target. We got our drones. That'd be good. There's a lot of shit in here. Let's go. Look at this guy. Heck. These guys are pretty weak.
To give the commands to a drone requires you to have an active target.
We're supposed to pick up a dude here. So where is he? Ibn Centurion. Yeah, I know where Abriel, the ship's cook, was headed, but I'll need a terminal to give you the coordinates. The terminal and a safe station. Okay, we'll bring him back. Yeah, we need to find where he is. Where's the loot? Here? Oh, open cargo. Bring our drones back. There's also some loot over here as well. Yep, there he is. We got him in the hold. Let's see what else is here. Oh, open cargo. Oh, we got another Hornet. Nice. That's always nice to have. Anything else? I think that's everything. Let's head back then.
Warp drive active.
What is that over there? Asteroid belt.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, complete mission. Oh. How do I deliver? Return him to Sister Alatura. Okay, I do have him in my hold. Oh, maybe I have to drop him out into the item hangar instead of my ship. Alright. Wait. I don't have him. What the heck? I thought I picked him up. Alright, well, we gotta go back. We gotta go back and pick him back up. I thought I picked him up. Dude's just chilling in a cargo hold somewhere.
Warp drive active.
He's like, wait, you forgot about me. So it looks like that area of dead space. We are in the dead space. I think it's this one, right? Open cargo. Shouldn't be any enemies here. What even is this? Can I dock this? This is... loot all. Okay, I have him in my hold now. For sure, confirmed. Let's go.
Warp
Head back
drive
now.
active.
Wastage of fuel. Man, if this game had fuel, that'd be rough.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Okay, complete mission. There we go. Give me a moment to input Nebin's data. He's already providing us with good information. Alright. Next mission. We got the information from Nebin, but there's a problem. It appears Aubrey Azil, the ship's cook, has shipped out as well. There's no way they would all get reassignments so soon after an incident like this. They're being shuffled through the system so we don't find them. And then there's the drones. We need to find Aubrey. If we follow this long enough, we might discover who doesn't want the truth uncovered. So we have like a serial kidnapper. First we had to rescue the janitor, now it's the ship's cook.
Warp drive active.
Next is gonna be like first mate or something. Arizel, you had me a hand here. The damn things took out my propulsion. I feel like this is a trap, so I'm gonna preemptively send out my drones. Go into combat mode. Holy shit, they're back? Okay. You gotta pick him up. Send our drones after the enemies. Looting is so annoying in this game. Okay, we got him. We picked him up. He's in our hold. Orbit. Lock target. Seems like one is dead.
To give the command to a drone requires you to have an active target.
Infestor Alvi. Why is it called an infestor? That doesn't sound good. There's more of them. Orbit. Lock. I need like a better way of like sending my drones out. I feel like this is pretty tedious. I need to be able to lock onto multiple targets and send my drones out. Just have them keep fighting out here. Alright, we took him out. Rogue drones, we'll bring Azil back here. We'll see what we can do. Alright. Bring our hornets back. Recalling all drones. And away we go.
Drive active.
No loot here. Who's the transport which we already looted?
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
This drone involvement is certainly worrying news. Let me see what other leads I have for you. We've located the doctor. Alright, we gotta find the doctor now. Unfortunately, we've located her by way of ransom demand. We want this doctor alive, so we're going to pay it. Luckily, they just want planetary currency, so the real ISK value is minimal. I'll put the money in your hangar when you accept this mission. Okay. I need you to take the ransom to the designated drop location. You have to drop off the doctor as soon as you drop off the money. That's the plan anyway. I'd be prepared for a double cross. Okay, so we go there, hostage situation, drop off the ransom, pick up the doctor. If they're uncooperative, we kill them all. Alright, let's go. Sounds easy enough. You need a lot of money in your cargo hold. Oh, hold on, let's go redock. I don't think I have it in my cargo hold. I think she just put in my, yeah, I don't have it here. Let's redock.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
We forgot the money. We'll just pay in blood. Item hanger, a lot of money. Oh, not drone bale. Drag it to my ship. Okay. That now.
Warp drive active.
Off we go. To rescue the doctor. Doctor who? We're gonna send out the drones. Because I know there's gonna be an ambush here. Obviously. Approach this, dead drop on our booster. Loot, open cargo. We need to put the money in here. And supposedly, whoops. Dead drop. Supposedly, we're supposed to get the. Okay, so it is a. They just wanted to get the money and kill us as well. It's fine. We were prepared with the drones. Okay, there's more of them. They're all dead. Let's go see if there's any loot on them. I wonder what happened to the doctor. Is she in like one of these ships? We have a warrior. Oh, that's another drone type. Okay, that's cool. We'll take a lot of money as well. Because apparently they don't want it. They'd rather just die. We have a compact warp drive that we looted. Maybe a booster? I don't know. Not sure what happened to the doctor. We'll have to go back and... Or did we loot the doctor? Maybe she's in the dead drop. We'll have to figure out where she is. Oh my god, I zoomed right past the thing. Come on. This item is not yours to take. They double-crossed us. We'll get the money back. The fuck? Oh, okay, so we do have the doctor in our hold. Okay, we've done everything here then. Alright, let's go recall our drones and then we'll warp out of here. I don't think there's anything else.
Warp drive active.
I can't get the money back? Too bad.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Sure is nice being able to play in widescreen. Like Elden Ring, right? I've been playing Elden Ring for so long. It's like, where's the rest of the monitor that I paid for? Well, my brother paid for it, but still. Okay. Alright. Deliver doctor. You handled yourself well out there. Dr. Elben is cooperating with us. Alright. We've gone a long way, but we found the key survivor. Her name is Tahaki Karen. Tahaki Karen? She was the engineer on the main ship from the ruined fleet, and she signed on to the crew of the Heartbreak. She may be the only one who knows what really happened. You know the drill by now. Get out there, get her before someone else does. I'm fairly certain there's gonna be someone there to shoot at you. Okay, this is the exact same mission, except with a different NPC that I have to rescue. Let's go.
Warp drive active.
Get me out of here now. This thing might explode any second now. Okay. We need to go approach, open cargo, deploy drones. Let's get her out first if we can. And then have our drones kill everything. Booster. This is an extremely fast ship, by the way. It has a ton of... Okay, we got her. We got her. Alright, now we can focus on fighting. We killed one. Let's kill the other two. There might be more after this. Almost certainly. I mean, we could just warp out of here, too, because we already got her. But I do want to get some fighting in.
To give the command to a drone requires you to have an active target.
Okay, yeah, there is more.
To give the command to a drone requires you to have an active target.
Looks like my drones are auto-targeting sometimes. It depends on how close they are to the enemies. Alright, everything's dead. Anything else? I think that's it. Let's recall our drones. Doesn't seem like there's any other loot, so we'll just head back after we get our drones.
Warp drive active.
Quick and easy mission, just like that. You might play again. I mean, it's a pretty fun game. It took me a few times to get actually I've played this game before. I've downloaded it. I thought it's way too complex. I'm not gonna play this, and I dropped it. I'm back again. Now it seems like it's like I don't know. I just get it now. I understand how to play this game. Well, kind of. Obviously, I'm still very basic, very newbie. There's a lot of tips and tricks that I don't know. Yeah, it's pretty fun. Excellent. Karen is being transported to a more secure Sisters of Eve location for a full debriefing with our people. Don't worry, we'll keep Concord well informed of our progress. Alright. Remember the strange data core you found? We've determined that it must have been made by rogue drones of some kind. I'm sending you to the Galante space, where I've contacted someone who can help you continue this investigation. Her name is Delphine Zarassier, an agent for Creodrone and the daughter of their chief researcher. Okay, so new character Delphine Zarassier, agent for Creodrone, and daughter of the chief researcher. We've tapped out of our other leads for now, so she's like the only lead. Leaves us with the information on drones. Okay, so we need to go there, talk to the last lead, I guess. Let's go. We need to figure out. We need to find, figure out the bottom of this this drone mystery with the strange data core. There's drones out there making data cores. It is, oh my god, it is 8 jumps. That's gonna be a long... It's like, what, 10 minutes of jumping? It's our carry weight. Whoops. Can we, like, process this? No, we can't. Okay. We only jettison things. We're fine though. We're under 50% carry weight. So we can still carry a lot of stuff. Everything's good so far. Health is full, shields are full. Drones are fine. think there's an event going on. You can actually get like, if you, there's like people in chat who say like, you can get like 10 million. It's either 10 million or 1 million research points, which is like 20 days worth of research, essentially. So I actually got that, and like the research is now really good. I have like almost full drones, like for the free account anyway. I'm probably just gonna stay free account, by the way. Just, I don't know. I don't think I like this game enough to actually pay a sub to play with like the other stuff here. But yeah, drones and shields. This is a drones and shields build. I don't even have weapons on this thing. This is like the carrier, the Protoss carrier build.
Drive active.
If only I can find like a gold paint and then also paint my drones, that'd be nice. But I don't think you can paint drones in this game. So there's no point in me painting my ship gold as well. Yeah, there is a premium account. It's but you can play a lot of the game. I think most of the game is unlocked for free accounts. If you want to play with like a really big ship though, you'll probably want to go upgrade your account to Omega. But right now I'm having a lot of fun just playing with the small frigates. So if you go to like the, where is it? Ship tree. So right now I'm in frigate class, which is fine for now. But yeah, there's a lot of other ships out here that require Omega access, but as long as you build your ship right, I think you can actually get a lot done in this game.
Drive active.
Almost there. I think this is the last jump.
Drive active.
Alright, we're gonna dock with the factory. Talk with our last lead here.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
About a game called Astro Colony. Cool. Don't like that, you can get a refund and go to EVE again. Alright, so talking to Delphine Zerasier. Studying the scene. Alatura said you needed more information about some kind of drone problem. The sisters have referred a few promising capsuleers in the past, so I'm willing to give you a chance, but I can't do anything else until this mess I'm dealing with has been taken care of. I need to go retrieve some drones for her. Every drone in this system has ceased responding to signals. That doesn't happen with Federation technology, unless the drones have been destroyed. Nah, what happened is these drones have been infested, and like it's like some kind of crazy techno-parasite that's like infecting these drones and then creating new data cores, all bat zone. It's probably like some kind of big bad AI shit. Definitely. I'm calling it now. Fly out there, bring back one of the drones or any parts that might remain. You'll need to be careful. Alright. Let's go. Bring back one corrupted drone components. Yeah, that's right. Let's go do this quest. It's probably the last quest. I'm gonna go switch over to sculpting after this.
Warp drive active.
Alright, deploy drones. Looks like we're in for a fight. Let's go pick this up. Corrupted drone part. I don't know if there's gonna be more after this, but we'll just go loot now. Alright, we picked up the corrupted drone. Hopefully it doesn't corrupt our drones. We'll bring our drones back into the drone bay. And then back to where we started.
Warp drive active.
Go back to Delphine. Bella Delphine. How's my project coming up? Pretty good. The fourth and final race is basically, I'm pretty much done with the high poly. I just need to polish up a few things before I do the low poly and then get it into Unreal Engine. Turn this in. Wonderful, the RD team has been waiting for your return. Are you available for another mission? Later. I'm gonna take a short break here, and then we'll get some sculpting done. Here.
much did All right, guys, let's actually read this. This is from Steven Totila.
I just realized my mic was turned
Bungie's
off,
Steve
but
Jobs
basically I'm just gonna
prior to
I'm
Destiny's
gonna listen to some stuff and then also work. So I'll be quiet now.
most recent release, sources says. The acclaimed studio has been shredding jobs since Sony bought it. Employee hours focused on Bungie leaders more than the bosses at PlayStation. A second round of deep job cuts at Destiny Studio Bungie's in less than a year sent shockwaves through the games industry on Wednesday. The cuts were not a sudden move. A sizable new round of layoffs had been planned by Bungie management for months. Before the launch of the studio's acclaimed Destiny 2 expansion, The Final Shape, this past June, two former Bungie employees told GameFile. Hold on. All right, hold on. What if The Final Shape would have, blew every metric out of the water and been, I don't know, but let's say something crazy. Let's say 1 million concurrent players on Steam alone. Then what? Now, the layoffs were announced publicly yesterday by Bungie CEO Pete Parsons, who said 220 workers would lose their jobs out of a workforce of about 1,300. Bungie is also working with a parent company, Sony, to integrate 155 of our roles into its PlayStation group. Sony Interactive Entertainment, Parsons said. Bungie will also spin out one of our incubation projects, an action game set in a brand new science fantasy universe, to form a new studio within PlayStation Studios to continue its promising development, he said. Sony purchased Bungie in 2022 for $3.6 billion, at least partially due to its development and management of Destiny 2, the sci-fi first-person shooter that launched in 2017 and had entrenched itself as a beloved free-to-play, massively multiplayer, continuously updated live service adventure. But Bungie's leaders had overstated their studio's financial prospects to Sony, and Wednesday's cuts were needed to stop continued losses that amounted to an ongoing reality check, 3 ex-Bungie sources told GameFile. I think Sony overpaid for Bungie, one of the former insiders said, on condition of anonymity to avoid damaging their career. I think Bungie sold things they were just not able to deliver. 2 of the ex-Bungie workers said the studio repeatedly missed financial targets promised to Sony and had been losing money since the release of February 2023's Destiny 2's expansion Lightfall. Since February? What? Lightfall struggles along with the decay of the aging Destiny 2 player base and repeated delays to the company's next big game marathon led managers to do a dire conclusion last year. Bungie, the studio initially granted continued autonomy when it was purchased, would need to make deep cuts to show Sony executives that it was taking its finances seriously, the 2 sources said. Oh God. Last October, Bungie laid off around 100 workers, but employees sensed that might not be the end. In March, IGN reported that Bungie developers feared more cuts would follow the June 2024 release on Destiny 2 expansion, The Final Shape. That was the rumor. The rumor was Final Shape was going to come out and there were going to be cuts. I assumed that Final Shape did well, there wouldn't be cuts. And those cuts in 2023 were indeed understood internally to be insufficient. 2 of the ex-Bungie sources told GameFile, at least by early 2024. As a result, Bungie's leadership planned another round. Those cuts couldn't be avoided even if for Destiny 2's 2024 expansion, The Final Shape had a blockbuster performance, 3 sources said. Let me read that one more time. Those cuts could not be avoided even if for Destiny 2's 2024 expansion, The Final Shape had a blockbuster performance, 3 sources said. That's what we were wondering earlier. What we were wondering is if the Final Shape had just blown it out of the water, could they have avoided it? Jesus, man. I don't understand how you can avoid that. All right, reads for comments about detailed reporting in the story. A Bungie rep referred GameFile to Sony Public Relations. Sony PR did not reply to a subsequent inquiry. Now, I read Bungie's leaders. On Tuesday, current and former Bungie workers lit into Parsons and Bungie management, questioning the leadership that had steered the studio into successive traumatic layoff cycles. Step down, Pete, former Destiny community manager Liana Rupert wrote on Twitter X. Inexcusable. Bungie community manager Dylan Gaffner wrote on Twitter X, who, by the way, still works at Bungie. Industry-leading talent being lost yet again, accountability falling upon the workers who have pushed the needle to deliver for our community time and time again. Now, Gaffner's social media feed is full of laid-off workers from Bungie's player support, narrative, sound teams, and more, reeling from the shock and looking for work. On Tuesday, Parsons himself described a studio that was overextended by chasing the goal of running 3 concurrent major franchises and greenlighting an array of incubation projects over the last 5 years. Dude, I mean, look, man, I remember seeing it, all the hiring spree that Bungie was doing, and what was so crazy was so many hirings were occurring that had nothing to do with Destiny. And then we saw this project, that project, you know what I mean? It was like, good God. And there's no way they could have pushed all those out. I don't know what they were thinking. And by 2023, an economic slowdown made the situation worse, Parsons said. We were overly ambitious, our financial safety margins were subsequently exceeded, and we began running in the red, he said. Even with the exhaustive efforts undertaken across our leadership and product teams to resolve our financial challenges, these steps were simply not enough. A critique of how Bungie management spent the studio's money popped up unexpectedly last year via a trial exhibit from a lawsuit over Microsoft's bid for Activision. An internal 2021 Xbox document analyzed potential acquisition targets, including Bungie, which Microsoft had owned from 2000 to 2007. One of the listed risks, the company is known for its high burn rate. I remember us reading that. That was they got a high burn rate, but like somehow they haven't gone under. Now Sony weighs in. Tension between Bungie and parent Sony did not take long to come into view. In February, less than 2 years since Sony had announced its plan to buy Bungie, the company's longtime chief financial officer Hiroki Totiki said Bungie had room for improvement from a business perspective with regard to areas such as the use of business expenses and assuming accountability for development timelines. Seeing that, yeah, accountability for development timelines. So again, in their eyes, Final Shape probably should not have been pushed back to June, and Marathon should have been coming out this year, on top of whatever other games they were working on. Notably, an initial live translation of Totiki's answer didn't name Bungie and seemingly referred to PlayStation's portfolio of studios, but Sony made a point to clarify. Later, Totaki was indeed talking about the studio. Wow. Also notable, Totaki had recently added chairman of PlayStation to his duties. That's wild. So in the initial live translation, his answer didn't clarify Bungie, but just to follow up, he made it clear that he was in fact talking about Bungie. In May, Sony investors questioned Totaki about when the company would reach break even on Bungie. The company is not really expecting any profit contribution from it this year, Totaki said. PlayStation profits are nevertheless top of mind at Sony these days. The headcount of its gaming group swelled in recent years as it went on an acquisition binge, but gaming profit had waned until a recent sign of recovery, as GameFile noted in February. Sony said it had 12,700 workers in its game and network services division, inclusive of PlayStation, as at the end of March 2023, the most recent figure available. That was up from 10,200 at the end of March 2022. The overall headcount for all of Sony had been declining every year since 2009, aside from the bump in 2017. It finally grew again in 2022 and 2023. When it did, more than half of the added workers were in its gaming division. But Sony's game group has been reporting slimmer profits even as it takes in more money. A chart from Sony's 2023 corporate report shows the games division's revenue soaring, but Sony's music division started to make bigger profits. In this past spring, Sony elevated 2 PlayStation veterans to co-CEO roles under Totaki. In a note marking their new positions, the co-CEOs wrote, "Expectations for us are high, and we aim to drive improving profitability." That's the name of the game right now, then. Now, the alternate history is worse. Publicly, among 4 ex-Bungie sources GameFile spoke with, there was little animosity for Sony over the cuts. The blame falling to Bungie management for promising unrealistic growth. Destiny is a live service game. It makes money when players who sample it for free decide to spend money on optional cosmetic items for their character and for new adventures offered via expansions such as Lightfall and the Final Shape. It is interesting here too, man, because I would say years ago, that animosity was toward Activision. Anytime when something negative popped up, the company would rally in a way. And you saw it happen after Forsaken. They rallied and pretty much put the middle finger up to Activision. But here, they're not getting that. They're blaming Bungie. What did Activision say about Forsaken? I'm pretty sure they just said it was disappointing. Big game publishers and studios hope that a live service game with a dedicated user base will provide regular revenue for years. The pitfall is that players enthusiastic to play any live service can wane. A problem exacerbated when players move on to other newer and or more popular games. Destiny 2 has become one of those and was slipping. Bungie's next game, Marathon like Destiny, is also designed to be a live service game. Sony touted its Bungie acquisition as a means to gain profitable live service gaming expertise. It planned for Bungie to spread its knowledge to other PlayStation teams while running as a quasi-independent shop. Multiple Sony executives sit on Bungie's board. Oh, look at there. Multiple Sony executives sit on Bungie's board, as reported by IGN in December. But Bungie leaders have held a majority. Sony nevertheless has leverage over Bungie managers to perform lest they lose their jobs, 2 sources noted. For all the stresses of the Sony deal on Bungie, one well-connected former worker at the studio told GameFile the alternate history where Sony doesn't buy Bungie is worse. The alternate history is insolvency. This is what we were told before. Is we were told that Bungie essentially took the deal with Sony because they were treading water. But here's the thing, man. If you don't address how you got insolvent in the first place, or damn near it, somebody is spending too much dough, too much money. Somebody going way too crazy. Look, I know everybody is jumping on Pete, and I'm not saying you shouldn't, but it's not Pete and his cars. They're spending it somewhere though. But it wasn't the core. 2.3 million on 3.6 billion. Now who knows what the payout was though? That's true. Who knows what the payout? I mean, dude, the only thing that makes sense is they took the $3.6 billion, they put it in Doge when it was at 72 cents, and then things went south really fast, man. But you know, they bought into it. They bought it at the high. How did that money disappear? What happened? What happened? That's a lot of money. You could have literally just put that money, I don't know, you could have bought treasury bills or some shit. I don't know how much they need liquid on them at all times. I'm gonna just say this. I wouldn't be surprised if something comes out in the next year or so and we find out some crazy stuff, like something crazy happened to that money. I mean, this just sounds like, who was the guy back in 07, Bernie Madoff? This is some Madoff shit. I'm just saying, I mean, that money of that amount, what the hell happened? Who's auditing? Sony's got to have their own, like someone's got to be auditing. They did build a brand new huge office building in downtown Bellevue, and those things cost hundreds of millions of facilities. It costs permits, the area is money. Yeah, I know the facility you're talking about. First up, it's a lease. Second, that was done before, that lease was locked in before COVID. Talking like 2019 when they locked into that lease. How much money that is? Not enough to deplete $3.6 billion. A top-heavy team. Layoffs have been ripping through the games industry for 2 years, costing over 20,000 workers their jobs since the start of 2023. Described by game developer Florian Noor, pundits, executives, developers, and more have been blamed a come down from the pandemic-driven boom of 2020. When much of the world's population was locked indoors and needed entertainment. A pattern has emerged of gaming giants that added hundreds or thousands of workers in recent years, now cutting a large chunk of those roles. That's been the case at Sony, as well as Activision, 9,800 workers in 2021 versus 13,000 in 2022. Riot, where co-CEO Mark Merrill said a January layoff of 11% of his workforce followed a period where headcount doubled and more. A variation of those headcount expansion challenges set in at Bungie, which have become top-heavy with managers, according to 3 former members of the studio. On the one hand, it's an interesting byproduct of people loving Bungie, one source said. People stuck around at the company rather than splitting for another studio. On the other, we needed more people to do the actual work. Yeah, I think this part right here is probably the most important. The result has been the de facto demotion of some senior members of the studio, down to more hands-on roles in the company's games, a move that has also shaken up teams and left some developers at Bungie feeling squeezed. Yeah, it's weird, man. So there were demotions of senior members at the studio. And I bet there was a lot of people that got moved up to those roles, those lead roles and stuff like that. And what happened is their team probably got cut or eventually let go, or they were put on an incubation project that obviously nothing came out of it. Probably took the demotion to keep their jobs too. Yeah. Now, Destiny isn't enough. For more than 200 Bungie workers, the priority now is how to find work in a rough market. The day of the layoffs, there were at least glimmers of hope as developers from EA, Microsoft's 343 Industries, and others said they had some open roles. For the rest of the workers at Bungie, the challenge will be whether the studio can turn itself around. More than 850 people will remain working on Destiny and Marathon, Parsons said. At the moment, only Destiny 2 is making the studio any money. The game's June expansion to Final Shape was critically acclaimed and held as a high point in the decade-long Destiny saga, and yet it sold less than Lightfall. One of the former Bungie sources told GameFile, comparing the 2 expansion launch sales. Even the rosiest sales for Final Shape probably couldn't have single-handedly turned things around. The financials just don't work, they said. Destiny is an incredibly expensive game to make. Then how do you make it for 10 years? I don't understand. If Destiny is an incredibly expensive game to make, how has it been made for 10 years? By being owned by a larger studio? Probably got more expensive as it became more top-heavy. Okay, that's a good point. So what you're saying is, as those ground developers and the studio continued to grow, everyone moved up to managerial roles. On top of that, salaries also went up with that. Yeah, I got you. Again, though, things still don't add up. Right down here, this final line here, right? The final line right here. Destiny is an incredibly expensive game to make. Okay, Destiny is an incredibly expensive game to make. How much of that is Destiny being expensive to make? Or the other 4 or 5 games you've got over there in incubation? You take sandbox developers and other developers off of Destiny to go make a game that you didn't even put out the door. What is those losses? Are they just falling under Destiny, that umbrella? And you're just saying, look at Destiny losing all this money. I don't think anyone in their mind, I mean, like, other than Sony, obviously, would think that, hey, we're going to take one game and use this one game's revenue to essentially finance 3 to 4 other games. I mean, in my opinion, Marathon, okay. And let's do what they're doing right now. Consolidate and just have, but beforehand, consolidate and just have everyone work on Destiny and Marathon. No, dude. Guys, I'm going to ride this ship all the way down, man. What are you talking about? We're not going, you know, I already told you. I will log in on my Titan. Forgive me, I'm on my hunter right now. Bungie's going to be like, we're closing the servers today. We will log in. I will keep a macro on forever, and we will stay logged in post-death, I might add. I knew back in 2020 when we heard about all the incubation projects and people moving away from D2 didn't sound great. Look, I'm telling you, we honestly, we may end up doing a fully edited video of how everything happened. It wasn't just the incubation projects that Bungie was naming. It was the crazy hiring sprees that they were doing. It was all the positions changing. Suddenly, everyone that was at Bungie were moved to different roles, different positions, and all of it were promotion. It was like promotion, 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 hiring spree, hiring spree. Yeah, I agree with the statement right there. You had all these promotions and then no one was actually working on the games. Here's what I'm wondering. How many people got let go that actually worked on the game versus the people in these managerial roles? And the other side of things is I don't entirely blame the people that got promotions. You do a good job at a company, you eventually get promoted. That's what you're supposed to do, right? No one told Bungie, though, to blow things up as if we were going to be in lockdown during COVID for the next decade. Maybe that was projected. Maybe during that moment, they were like, hey, we're about to be in lockdown. This is our life for the next 10 years. We've got COVID. Everybody's going to be indoors. They need video games. But then Florida happened. They didn't give a fuck. Regardless, this is a great article here by Steven. If you guys want to check it out from GameFile as well. This is a paid-for article, though, just to let you know. We'll continue to check out his work and Jason's work and see what comes from that.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.
Trust the Bank of Luminaire, dedicated to the future of Federation businesses.
Some other news that's come out about this. This was an article that was put out yesterday. Bungie layoffs include senior executives Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy. Luke Smith, I mean, he's been on camera multiple times. Executive creator, it says here. Creative director, Destiny, Bungie. You know, he said some controversial things. He's done some controversial things. He was the main person who delivered sunsetting to us, or the main person at least delivered the news of sunsetting and the DCV. Whether or not it was just him pushing for that, who knows? But he was the Destiny 2 director, I want to assume at that time. But he also is responsible for expansions like The Taken King. You know what I'm saying? So is there good, there's bad? Sure. I think what Luke Smith represented for a lot of people was like he brought some level of excitement because you were like, all right, what they cooking, man? Because like this was, you know, creative lead, creative director. You knew whatever Luke and his team was cooking it was going to be new. We don't know if we were going to like new, but we knew it was going to be new. Mark Noseworthy also, I mean, I want to say him and Luke pretty much worked side by side, but it says right here, the VP of Destiny, the Vice President of Destiny. Here's the thing. It says that originally when the news came out, it said that these two guys have been let go, but more news followed afterwards, which actually stated that they just left. And we'll get into that in just a moment. We can probably just go watch the podcast directly. That way, because we're playing kind of this game of telephone. And the game of telephone is like, you know, everyone listening to the podcast or listening to someone and then, you know, they misconstrue things, maybe not even purposely, just accidentally, right? So I think we should just go probably watch it. But for those wondering, is this true? Is Luke and Mark actually gone? This is Tocom. Tocom is the guy who was on Sandbox for years. I think it says right here he's now on Marathon. And okay, yeah, previously was the combat design lead. This was the guy that, you know, made things like Icarus Dash and Top Tree Dawnblade whenever it came out, and a number of other things. He, again, kind of had some controversial takes. This was also the guy that said, you know, Twilight Garrison would never come back in the game, and everybody was like, boo this man, right? But he says right here, Luke and Mark were instrumental in every banger release we've ever had. That dynamic duo moved mountains for the game. For many of us, Luke was a friend and a mentor who championed the game and hobby. Luke always wanted to make sure we honored the time folks spent in our world. Yeah, as far as I remember, Luke and Mark were pretty much always together. You kind of got that. You got that, as he said, that dynamic duo when they entered the room. They were normally both together, and they were jointly attacking things together. However, at least to my knowledge, they were moved to a project called Payback, which was supposed to be set in the Destiny universe. I don't know what the scope of Payback was supposed to be, but it was said that Luke and Mark were working on Payback. I think everybody's overplaying this. They could just be progressing their careers elsewhere amidst what is clearly changed at Bungie. Robbie, no. Okay, let's do this, Robbie. When Joe left, I was like, okay, maybe Joe got a position back and he's going back to Riot. But then Andy left, which was really concerning. And then Kat left, extremely concerning. Kat was literally, there wasn't a piece of the final shape that she didn't know and understand. A lot of our conversations at Bungie took place with Kat. And to see her leave, and you're talking key people, okay? And then you have the number of layoffs. And now, I mean, look, sometimes the writing is just on the wall. And I'm not saying that Bungie's going down the drain. That's not what I'm saying. And I have my theories. I have my theories to what's going on. Personally, I think that with Bungie closing all these incubation projects, which Luke and Mark were definitely on, you were probably given an option. Your option was probably, hey, go back to going back to working on Destiny, or that's that. You see what I mean? Or Marathon. I think those became your only three options. Hey, you're either going to work on Marathon, Destiny, or it's time for you to go. The future of Destiny is dependent on Marathon? I don't think so. Okay, depending on what way. Because if you think that if Marathon ends up being an explosive success, everybody say goodbye to Destiny. This is not me hoping for the downfall of Marathon. I'm not hoping for that either. But we'll just see what plays out. Let's go listen to this podcast though, guys. I think we need to hear from the horse's mouth. Okay. By the way, guys, this is Jeff Grubb right here. He's even got it right here. Jeff Grubb, Game Mess. If you guys want to go check this out, let's listen to this.
Let's recap. There was another round of Bungie layoffs. 17% of the studio. This is after the round of layoffs in October. You know, just not even a year ago. This is something that's been in the works, even though the final shape came out and performed well critically. It did about the same in terms of player numbers as the Lightfall, but it took 4 more months.
Adrenaline pumps as symbols crash. Victory, green, and legacy flow. Egonix, your life, your sound.
than Lightfall, so it costs a lot more money to make. And to spend that much more money and see the exact same return, clearly it broke, and really it was breaking even before that. There was kind of no numbers they could do with the final shape to avoid this scenario, it seemed like. So a lot of people laid off, 220 people cut from the company. Another 150 are leaving Bungie and joining SIE. They are being like shifted around. And speaking of shifting around, Bungie, going forward, starting now, the process is beginning to basically remove their autonomy. They will no longer operate as an independent studio under Sony. They will be like any other PlayStation worldwide studio under Sony Interactive Entertainment, with Herman Holst overseeing the studio like he does the rest of Sony studios.
That's wild. I mean, is that like truly confirmed right there? That like Herman Holst, like we're talking like what, Santa Monica and those studios just operating just directly, like you've been absorbed. They made banger stuff. God, that's the one thing, man. That's the one thing that we all are sitting here going like, is this okay? Because we know those studios that Sony has their hands in do in fact make bangers. And so I think everyone is sitting here wondering, hey, could Bungie become Santa Monica? You know, could it actually turn it around, get the management that it needs? So let's just keep watching.
Those are the basics. There's some other stuff involving, hey, what's going on with these games? What's going on with some of the key leadership? Pete Parsons, for example, what's going on with him? He's still there. And many people aren't happy.
Oh yeah, let me just confirm that, by the way. We're not getting a fucking D3. We've been saying it literally now for years, but it has been confirmed that D3 was never being worked on. Okay, so say if D3 has never been worked on, and say they go, okay, we got to start development right now. You might want to take a wild guess how many fucking years that's going to take. Just wrap your head around this. Let's get the logistics right. You're telling me a studio of 850 is going to maintain live development of Destiny 2. They're going to push out Marathon next year, and they're going to fucking start making D3 right now? What are we smoking, fellas? Ha! Oh, by the way, Marathon's going to be a live game, and they're going to continue to update it just like Destiny. It's still going to get live updates just like Destiny. There's no fucking way.
Happy with that. There's been an outcry from many developers, many of the people that formerly worked there, people caught up in the round of layoffs last time, saying, hey, Pete, you should step down. That's not happened yet, and people keep asking for it, although it does seem like this situation was due to his architecting. He was making bigger promises to Sony, it seemed like, than he could have the studio keep, to get more money from the acquisition, and now those chickens have come home to roost, and here we are.
I mean, don't forget, Jeff, PlayStation Sony bought Bungie for billions of dollars, right?
Yes, billions.
They were not paying for just Destiny 2.
No.
You know, some of that was obviously Marathon, but there were a lot of things promised, and some of that was this idea that they were going to help out and manage maybe all of Sony's live service games. You know, in that letter, Parsons talks about, oh, we, had this strategy, like we had so many things starting up, we had so many things cooking, basically, and it sounds just kind of absolutely wild. And sure, some of it is just bad timing, right? That a lot of this kind of was in the middle of development when we're in this big downturn, but that's why it was always a big risk. Downturns can happen, so why were we just growing the studio at this exponential rate, especially at
Let me also just say the downturn, right? And I'm not saying that, like, yeah, obviously there are downturns, especially in certain industries more than others, but I think the projections for COVID were unrealistic. You know, everyone, all these studios, publishers, and everyone had these metrics that were off the charts of playtime, absolutely insane. But dude, that's gonna happen because everyone was at fucking home. And I'm gonna, honestly, I'm glad we're not stuck at home anymore. But I think that for gaming, had COVID kept us locked down for like years, probably would have been pretty good. And maybe that was a bet people made. Maybe that was a bet Sony was making. Maybe that was a bet that Bungie was making. Because the longer the lockdown went on, the more likelihood people would be, of course, playing video games at their home while working remote.
time when, like, Destiny 2 was doing good, but there always had to be some concerns or some metrics to show, well, we can't keep this up forever. Of course, Destiny has always had something of a new player problem when it's not just we're launching a new number game, and they said for a long time that a Destiny 3 wasn't going to happen anytime soon, and apparently a Destiny 3 isn't even really in the works. There was something else, but the fact that they had all these other plates spinning and one of them hasn't been a Destiny 3, which is the one thing that seems like it really would bring in a lot of new players. I have no idea what the strategy was. It seems bad, and it seems like other people are paying for it, not Parsons.
Yeah.
Okay, that is a great point to bring up. Out of all the plates that were spinning that he just said, of all the games that were in incubation and being worked on, why weren't any of them a Destiny 3? Because if this had started in 20, so think about it, 2020, you got Codename Matter being, worked on, which got canned actually within that year, into that year. Because everyone speculated that maybe D3 was being worked on in the background. But why not any work on D3 throughout this time frame? No preliminary work. And I'm not saying that I wanted D3 over a D2, but let's be real, eyeball-wise, you would get a lot more people interested in a sequel than an expansion. It just happens that way, man. We saw the numbers there for D2. The problem with D2 Vanilla, kind of like Lightfall, is it couldn't capitalize on the amount of new people that it brought into the game. It brought in a ton of new people, and then they all dropped it. Not because, oh, Destiny's just not their kind of game. No, it was because Vanilla was ass. It was terrible. I mean, everybody quit. Even veteran players quit. And then Lightfall fell flat narratively, and then that led to a lot of negative sentiment, and tons of people just checked out. What a D3 would give is, hey, why don't you give this game another chance? We've learned from previous mistakes and previous successes. Here we are with D3. Could be another launch like D2, but that's a great point that he brought up, is that out of all the plates that were spinning, why wasn't a single one of them D3?
Yes, we could talk about what the strategy is going to be. Let's do that a little bit. I guess in order to do that, you kind of need to know what it was going to be. Maybe they were working on this thing that you alluded to, this other project called Payback, that was being overseen by Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy. They were basically VP of production, Mark Noseworthy, and then executive creative director. But both of them, they were labeled as working on Payback, this new thing that was going to be the new Destiny experience, the next big thing for Destiny, but specifically not Destiny 3. Now, I'll be clear that I don't know what makes it not Destiny 3. That stuff is very sensitive for some reason. I don't know.
What do y'all think it was? What do y'all think if Payback was a game that existed in Destiny, in the Destiny universe, but not Destiny 3? What the hell would it have been? No. Oh, that hurts. Some of you saying it could have been a D1 reboot. Get the fuck out of here. There's no way. I don't think Destiny is old enough to have a Destiny classic yet. Could have been a gacha game, a Destiny gacha. Probably sell that Genshin money.
Know what makes it not Destiny 3, but Luke Smith is not going to go work on something that's just nothing. He's working on the next big Destiny thing. Now, Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy are no longer at Bungie. They were let go. They were caught up in let's see, how did Pete Parsons put it? It was the executive and senior leadership shakeup that was mentioned in the blog post. Those are some of the executives and leadership that he was talking about. They no longer are at Bungie. Payback is on the shelf, and the strategy now is, let's take Destiny 2, and we're going to make smaller experience packs, smaller, tinier little things that are 6 months instead of the annual expansion packs they've done before. There'll be 2 smaller experience packs going forward, and the whole idea is, and your ears are ringing when you hear that, that doesn't sound great. The idea is, let's spend less to make less so that we can have a Destiny 2 that costs less, and then maybe it'll make enough money to make more sense going forward. In the meantime, we keep working on Marathon, and Frontiers is the name for the current strategy of shifting to this 2-a-year experience pack thing. They're gonna do Frontiers and they're gonna do Marathon, and then if both of those things hit, if both of those things work out, they will then revisit what the future of Destiny will be at that point. So the future of Destiny is basically on hold. It is Destiny 2 for now. Definitely no Destiny 3. There was never a Destiny 3 in the works. Some new Destiny experience that was called Payback. That is on the shelf. That is not happening.
I'm really curious where Jeff is getting. I know Jeff is credible. Is he pulling the information from Liz on that? Because we literally saw some leaked information yesterday that does in fact align with what Jeff is saying, that there will be 2 mini expansions every year. There actually 2 mini expansions in 2 seasons, each lasting 6 months long. If this is true, guys, then Bungie and Sony, they must have complete belief that Marathon is going to be the greatest thing ever shipped. They're essentially saying Destiny is we're going to hold off on any major future developments of Destiny because all roads lead to Marathon. It's not that I don't believe Marathon is going to be a good game. I think Marathon is probably going to be solid, but more revenue than Destiny. You know, I believe Marathon may actually be a hit, but a bigger hit than Destiny, a genre-defining game. I mean, is it really going to be that? Dude, and I know I bring up RuneScape for all of this, but this is just so reminiscent of when Jagex was convinced that RuneScape needed to become this modern MMORPG. And the higher-ups at Jagex all came in and said, no, we gotta have evolution of combat. It needs to happen. And everybody was like, dude, we don't like this. The players were like, we don't like this. So much so, they put out a poll and the poll got messed with. I don't know if they turned the bots on or something, but the votes got skewed. And next thing we know, we're playing Evolution of Combat RuneScape, which changed the game in every single way. And everybody quit. Even I quit. I was a dedicated player. I quit. And it got so bad that finally Jagex was like, holy shit, we're gonna die. This stuff is about this, everything's about to close down. What do we do? And someone somewhere, I don't know who it was, this person should be running Jagex, said, you know what if we just listen to the community and give them back old school RuneScape? You know, the thing we took away. And oh my god, shit blew up. And it has continued to be, what, in the top 5 MMORPGs? What a wild concept. I'm seeing parallels here with Bungie. Let's just continue.
It sounds like they have a very narrow path to walk, and they're doing it without some of the people that made it possible in the first place, but they still got Pete Parsons, so yay?
Luke Smith's gone.
Yes.
Man, okay, so that's wild. So much of this is just shocking.
Real quick, so people are gonna like, this comes from the same source that told me about the layoffs before they were announced, so that's how I'm certain about this.
Right,
So,
and you know, okay.
And it's so odd because Luke, where's the YouTube video of Luke Smith, literally, what was it, two and a half months ago, where Luke Smith gets in front of the camera and says, we have much to talk, this is not the end of Destiny 2, we have much to talk about. This was just 3 months ago.
Hey everyone, this is Luke from the Destiny team. The final shape is the culmination of a 10-year journey. A journey that began on the Cosmodrome, took you to the moon, Venus, Mars, the reef, and beyond. It's a journey that'll end inside the Traveler, with you facing the Witness. But facing the Witness is not the end of Destiny 2, and it's definitely not the end of Destiny. After you face the Witness, we're gonna tell you what's coming next to Destiny 2 and beyond. We'll see you soon.
Anyways, I don't know if it was a lie. I don't know. I don't know. Maybe at that time, everything was still good. You know what I mean? But yes, that definitely aged poorly.
I've seen some maybe different ideas out there about when Payback was put on the shelf. I don't know if you like have anything about the timeline of that.
Yeah, so
when this project was abandoned.
It was developed. It was in development for a little bit over a year, and then it was canceled in mid-June. There was another project that was a spin-off called, I want to say Sunspot or something like that. Sunspot, I believe.
Hold up. Payback was only in development for a year from June, so right after Lightfall. My best case scenario is started in Lightfall. Oh no, let's continue.
Another project that was a spin-off called, I want to say Sunspot or something like that. Sunspot, I believe. And that was something different. That was canceled back in like 2023 or something like that. That was something different. So that hasn't been a going concern for a while. This one, though, was the active big thing. Like, again, Luke Smith is not going to go work on some bullshit. He was going to work on the next thing for Destiny. And
yeah, look, for people saying Sunspot sounds like BS. There is a long history of things that Bungie started to do and then didn't go through with it. Matter was another one, right? That got canned, and that one got canned. No one even knew about it. Got canned back in 2020, right after it was like teased, right? Like not long after it was teased.
And that's clearly how they were positioning this. Whether it was Destiny 3, it wasn't. But whether it was or not, it was the next big thing for Destiny. So yeah.
Yeah, we can speculate what that means. I have no idea. I don't want to go guessing over there. Gosh, it's just, it seems like they're going to have such a hard time getting Destiny fans who are obviously feeling like crap right now and who now know that the game is not going to get the level of investment that it once did. I mean, how are you possibly going to get them excited about having less? Like, I guess you have to make the quality of it really good, but you don't have as many people there to work on it. You don't have a lot of the same people. I just have a hard time believing that Destiny 2 has some bright future ahead of it, and there's no Destiny 3 or anything else coming to kind of save the day there. It feels like the strategy is kind of hold on until Marathon and hope that's a major hit.
And it's that's what I've also heard, is that expectations for Marathon that is supposed to come out next year are sky high. They are sky high for Marathon. It really does have to hit. Now, you know, for Destiny, it's these experience packs, again, different than expansion packs, smaller, 2 a year. They will...
Let me just say about Marathon. I think the game's going to do some good numbers. I just don't know if it's going to be good enough to justify killing off Destiny. I don't think that will ever be it. You know, unless the only way and I'm talking about from a business perspective, obviously from a love perspective, Destiny first all day long. Okay. The only way it would make sense that Marathon should overshadow Destiny in the development cycle would be if Marathon is literally as explosive to the gaming world as Fortnite was back in 2017. But y'all know what I'm talking about, right? Like Fortnite was, don't get me wrong, PUBG was crazy, but Fortnite hit and it changed everything. It changed everything. It's the reason why you probably got sick of it, but why so many games became battle royales. And we had literally battle royale after battle royale because of Fortnite's success. And PUBG definitely was a big part of that. But Fortnite exploded everything. The only way Marathon would make sense to sap up all the development here from Bungie is if it has that level of Fortnite success.
Will have, you know, there will be content, there will be cutscenes, stuff like that. But the I guess, do fans call it like tutorial campaigns or something like that? The tutorial experience that like introduces you in there, that feels like this big single player thing.
Right, there's always kind of a single player campaign.
Well, no,
story missions.
Not anymore.
Yeah.
Not anymore.
The quote unquote new light is the campaign they call it.
Right. So they're not going to be that.
For the free-to-play people too. Yeah.
That likely won't be a part of the experience packs going forward, but there will still be raids, I guess.
Yeah, they gotta have raids.
They gotta have raids. They will.
So no narrative is what I'm getting from this. We're gonna get dungeons, raids. We're gonna get content to play, activities to play, but no story. I don't really know how you could do that. Chad, how much of the narrative team got laid off? I know quite a few did, but I mean, where's the girl that sounds like failsafe? If she's still there, I got hope. Well, we're getting, for people that don't believe anything that's being said right now, first, Jeff has his people he's talking to. Okay. Second, if you don't believe this, Jason Schreier is another one who is going to be coming out with an article today, and y'all let me know as soon as that article is out. Should be confirming more of these details.
We'll still have raids. So yeah, there's a lot riding on being able to sort of get over this hump with Destiny, get people to feel fine about the new state of that game, and then really a lot is riding on Marathon. And of course they can try to reset things at that point, but that's a difficult path to walk.
Well, can I ask why? I don't know if you know this. Why are they so confident in Marathon? I mean, it's a new project. I guess that alone is exciting. I'm out of the extraction shooter loop. It's never really been my thing, but I don't know of any big successes in that genre outside of Tarkov. I'm sure there's a couple more. What is it about Marathon that is going to be so mind-shattering? I mean, you know, just the fact that it is Bungie's like other new thing since Destiny, and before that it was Halo, so they don't do new things too often, I guess. But still, if this thing comes out and now isn't a hit, oh no.
Yeah, it is a bad position for them to be in, and it is, and again, they are here because of the setup, the foundation that Pete Parson built with Sony when the deal was going through. It is, you need to be able to do this and this and this, and you need to deliver on all this stuff. And of course, there's the stuff with the mobile game, the mobile MOBA, the other game that is getting spun off into its own team going forward. Yeah, I'm sure that is something else as well. But yeah, there's just not a lot of room for error here. Everything has to work out as good as possible. And we just know from the beginning of the story of Destiny is live service games are messy, and you figure them out. You build the plane once you're in the air, and you lay the track in front of you when you're on the train, and all those metaphors. They are gonna have to still do that because that's how these games work. And so they are, the likelihood of this working out and in things kind of being the way people want for a Bungie in the future seems very slim. Which is just, honestly, it just feels like the story's not over for bad news with Bungie.
Destiny always had sort of an interesting problem where its whole kind of gimmick was like, hey, we're an MMO, but it's very high end. It looks as fancy as like whatever you imagine the newest Halo looking. And it's just hard to make that on the cheap, right? That's always sort of the problem. Like, you can have big returns with Destiny, but you have to have big investment in it at all times. You know, look at a World of Warcraft, right? And you know, you can see how you can dump a lot of money in that game and it makes a ton of money back, of course, but it's just not as hard to make a cutscene in a World of Warcraft or even a Final Fantasy XIV compared to a Destiny. So again, I just don't know what that looks like when it's smaller. I just don't understand how anybody at Bungie is feeling good right now, and the fans obviously aren't feeling good. I don't know what the turnaround here is. Now, granted, we've been in these situations before with people. You know, there's a point where we wrote off all of Blizzard. Nobody would ever feel good about that whole studio, that whole place again.
Cross, this is 3 days in a row beating a dead horse. Alpha, here's the thing, man. You are a loyal pay-to-win subscriber here. Luke fucking Smith and Mark Noseworthy are no longer with Bungie. Okay. Now look. I've never worked with Luke or Mark, at least not directly, not like through Bungie, not like as a developer. They could be the greatest people to work with. They could be the worst people to work with. They could have the greatest ideas or the shittiest ideas. I don't know. But this could be, you know, potentially, at least from what the community was led to believe for years, this is like Tom Brady and Gronk leaving the New England Patriots. Okay? Yes, everybody said Gronk was washed. Everybody said Tom couldn't do it. He couldn't do it anywhere else but with the Patriots. And they go win another one. You see what I'm saying? Now, here's the thing. I don't know if we should say either Luke or Mark Noseworthy is Tom Brady level, all right? Or even Gronk level, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. I've never worked with the guys. That's a question that only developers can answer, really. You know where I'm coming from? I don't know. I think the question that I would want to know more than anything is, how does the current people still at Bungie feel about the leadership changes? How do they feel? Maybe they can't even say. I don't even know.
It's mostly turned around now, so you know, it sucks when we got to turn it around when there's so many people who work there that are the victims of this, the people that really do make up Bungie. I'm just worried about the tools that they have and the ability that they have to deliver here. Again, Marathon sounds like the one thing that should just come out as we always expected it to, so whatever the vision there was, we should see it, and it seems like they have faith in that, so maybe Marathon will come out, really save the day, bring in a lot of money. That money can be invested into a Destiny 3 or whatever.
I don't see it happening, man. And I'm not saying I don't see Marathon being a success. I don't see Bungie going, hey, Marathon, thank you for all this cash. Let's make a D3 now. You know what I'm saying? I just don't see it happen. And that's if it makes a water cash.
But this is all still pretty shocking and pretty distressing.
Yeah. And you know, internally when they're like looking around and say, hey, how are things going? It seemed like most people at Bungie weren't quite aware of just how bad things were. And then people that knew that, like, hey, all those promises that we did make to Sony, that we said, all the milestones we said we would hit, basically every single one missed. They missed on everything across the board. So I don't know how you blame anyone but Pete Parsons, the architect of that deal. So yeah, and he got his. He got paid. He got, you know, likely hundreds of millions of dollars. I don't know. He got enough money.
Built off of false promises.
Yep, and enough money to be able to afford a fleet of classic cars that everyone keeps pointing to. And yeah, criticize him for that. That seems completely fair to me. Yeah, I don't know. It feels like the 10 years of Destiny happened, and I think a lot of fans are going to look at this moment and be like, "This is a dead game now." They're going to move on, and I kind of don't blame them. What do you tell fans like that? Like, hey, yeah, just stick with it. Maybe on the other side of this, things bounce back. I'm not going to be the one to tell them that.
Yeah, I guess like the one thing that's sort of missing is, you know, when everybody was mad at World of Warcraft, there was a Final Fantasy 14. There are some things that are like Destiny 2. There are a lot of things that are exactly like it. There's Warframe. Maybe people can go over to that, and that's a game that seems to be getting, you know, still a pretty good amount of investment. Things like TennoCon happen. At least as an outsider, seems like people are happy with that. But still, it's different from Destiny 2. It's not exactly the same thing, and there are people who just really, really like Destiny, and it might be hard for them.
Oh yeah,
to go.
Of course.
But
Yes.
it's still the problem. I mean, you know, we talked about this forever, right? Because I love Destiny 2. When it came out, it's just a point where once I'm done, it's hard to get back in, and I think we saw that. You know, that's the weird thing too with the final shape, with how good everybody said it was, and how happy it did make those hardcore Destiny 2 fans. It just seemed like it didn't really get people to come back, and at a certain point, nothing can make them come back, except for that Destiny 3, which is something that just, you know, isn't happening. And for a while, they specifically said, it's Destiny 2 now and forever. Like, why wouldn't it be? And, you know, there are some obvious reasons why it wouldn't be, because eventually you kind of build up that wall, and it kind of becomes obtuse and becomes difficult for people to break through.
Yeah, I mean, and like if I'm someone who's on the outside as I am right now, like most people, like you, someone, I spent some time with Destiny 2, enjoyed myself. Definitely, Christian is a huge Destiny 2 fan. He talks about it a lot, and I'm always like, I will wait for what feels like the right onboarding moment, and now it feels like that's clearly not really going to be coming anytime soon. So, yeah, it is in a rough position. You remember when Sony made the deal and they spent $1 billion on retaining employees? Like just $1 billion of that deal was specifically earmarked to retain Bungie employees. And
Right.
Yeah.
God, what happened here? Because it seemed.
Dude, what? Oh, $1 billion? Okay, somebody's making way more money there. Like, somebody is getting way overpaid. Nothing makes sense. Somebody audited this shit with a.
Seemed like Bungie was such an important crown jewel. Like I said, they spent billions of dollars on that studio, and it was supposed to be so much more than just Destiny. And it seemed like everything was going well, and then man, we are at this absolute, this feels like rock bottom moment for this company that has been through so many weird times. First, being the Halo team, then leaving Microsoft so they can do their own thing, getting swept up with Activision, getting their freedom, to then make this deal with Sony that seemed like incredible and highly lucrative, so they made money from that deal, and now here they are again. Yeah.
Do you think Bungie's been playing this game going on decades now? They've been playing this game of cat and mouse, shaking just enough ass. They got in bed with Microsoft, then they got out. They got in bed with Activision, then they got out. Then they got in bed with Sony. Do you think Sony just legally boxed them in more than? No, maybe not. I think this may have been the deal that Bungie intentionally made, or at least the higher ups at Bungie intentionally made. As far as I know, the only way Bungie was going to remain autonomous is if they would have kept a certain profit margin, whatever that was supposed to be. I don't have that information.
I imagine that's why there was so much scrutiny on them from Sony, right? That was a very expensive deal, and I have to think that they overpaid immensely.
yeah, I mean, clearly a lot of that was based on inflated promises, and a lot of these things just kind of working out and being the best case scenario. To recap for people just tuning in, for the future outlook of Bungie, the people at Bungie and Destiny, the best case scenario is Frontiers, this new version of Destiny 2 that's going to have 2 experience packs per year that are smaller and don't have a lot of the content you're used to. If that works out, and then Marathon also sells very well, they will then revisit the future of Destiny at that point, maybe do a Destiny 3, or maybe do something similar to what this Payback thing was going to be, again, this new Destiny experience. And then if one of those ifs falls out, if one of them misses, or will all of them miss, possibly, the Bungie is in a much worse situation. They are in a dire straits at that point, and who knows what that looks like. I don't. So yes, it kind of feels like rock bottom.
Well, I mean, if that happens, then that's it. So, Sony absorbs Bungie completely, if that's not already happening. The question is what does Sony do after that? Does Sony just keep Marathon and Destiny 2 on life support? Do they take the risk of making a D3?
Bottom for this game, the community, and obviously the people who were all just laid off for working on this game and really kind of killing themselves to get out in a big swan song for a game that people have been playing for 10 years. And it is the thing that they wanted. They did do the thing everyone said, please just do this. Make the game, give it the send-off it deserves. They did, and here we are. It is just kind of flabbergasting.
Again, like, it's like this, the send-off, and it's like, what's the plan after that? Like, I don't know. Like, now I'm curious, what, and again, we don't know. Like, what was it about Payload, or Payback, excuse me, that, why was that shelved then? Because there should have been something ready to go if we were nearing the end of Destiny 2. Like, how rough was that looking? Like, I don't know. It's distressing, and now I'm like, why are some of these projects that almost seem like necessary? And I get sometimes things don't work out, but it makes me think about the Last of Us factions, right? Like, oh, we canceled that. Like, well, some form of that maybe should have come out.
Maybe should, but I bet there was part of like when Bungie was like the story is Bungie came and looked at that thing, was like, you can't do this. You're not gonna be able to support this. I bet there was like, you know, almost PTSD of like looking at it and be like, in 2 years, the amount of money it's going to cost to maintain this thing and continue making new content for a team like Naughty Dog, it's going to be so astronomical. And you want to know how we know? We're living that right now. Yeah, it's so I kind of see that's almost certain.
Damn.
And that's the story I've heard from that as well.
Damn,
it's great
dude.
to identify problems, right? But boy, we need some solutions here soon, everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody knows the Destiny player loves when they take away content from them. That's the primary.
Our favorite.
I mean, that's why. Right. That's why these ifs are like so strong, because we know that being able to thread the needle of putting out just switching to these experience packs from expansion packs, and kind of saying, hey, pay us for these things that are not what you're used to getting. They're not going to be able to pull that off with this audience. I mean, you know, I know there's a lot of Destiny people watching. You guys know how you are. Like, come on, let's be real here.
What if expansion packs? God damn, dude, these fucking names are just terrible. I mean, at least rebrand it, call it something different. What if they're great? What if they were Menagerie, Black Armory, Scope? Here's what I would want. I would want them to be $40 a piece, and I would want each of the expansion packs to be of Witch Queen caliber or higher. Which I know you probably think across this like literally almost at the peak. Yes, I know what I just said. I want 2 Witch Queen expansions to drop per year. Delusional? Am I, chat? Am I delusional? How so? 2 Savadix twice a year. See, $40 a piece. That's cheaper than the annual expansion. That would be crazy crunch of the developers. Not if you don't have to have a story, which would suck. Obviously, I don't want to get rid of the story, but obviously, you know, here they're saying that there's not going to be much of a narrative. You know,
I mean,
it's going to be rough.
It's rough for any MMO.
Yeah.
Like only having 2 major content releases a year. It's just not. It's just not a lot. It's just not a lot to keep people engaged constantly. We'll see.
Yep.
Big Fresh 37 here says, obviously, the Bungie employees are the real victims here, but it sure does suck that I feel like after 8 years, I got to find a new home game. Yeah, it's kind of what I mentioned before. There's not just a lot of things that are exactly like Destiny 2. Sadly, Anthem did not work out, right? And I think that scared a lot of people off the genre. And then, like, there's things that, like, were make half-hearted attempts at it, like Avengers and Suicide Squad, and we saw how that worked out, too. I mean, this whole genre is going to be in a rough slot.
The hot new thing is the First Descendant. Like, I see a lot of Destiny players moving to that game, but I don't know how much it's gonna last.
Yeah, when I think I was just talking about the First Descendant in a meeting earlier this week, or this could have been on content, I can't remember, but I was checking Steam database, and it has still 100,000 like active users, daily active users, or concurrents on Steam or something like that. But you could see also the last like 30 days, and all of the games around it are like maintaining like the same number of players each day. And the First Descendant, obviously still early on, and it's going to probably be losing players, but it's like kind of quickly declining. So I wonder if it's going to be able to keep people around. Obviously, that's an open question.
that game is very grindy, so eventually the people that get tired of the grinding is gonna leave, and the only people that's gonna stay there is like the crazy ones.
Right.
They wanna like play for hours and hours to get like one character. So
Yeah,
I don't know.
I have a feeling a lot of the Schluters of the future will be from Korea.
Yeah, stuff like I mean, just that region where it's like maybe they can make these things kind of look slick and polished in a lot of ways, but that like are open to the grind, like with appealing to an audience that is accepting of the grind.
Yeah, accepting the grind and of free to play online store stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
A lot of that.
Go ahead.
Zoomer says this week in gaming news, if you understand money but not video games, you will be bad at making money through video games. Jim Ryan and Olympics.
Yeah, it definitely seems that way. I mean, Jim Ryan is responsible for a lot of the positions that Sony is in right now, but I don't necessarily know if I would lay much of the blame for what is happening at Bungie at Jim Ryan's feet. But that doesn't mean Sony still has a lot of problems in front of them because of the Jim Ryan decisions.
Still Jim Ryan's #1 fan and defender, huh?
Yeah, he's a beautiful man.
All right, I don't think we got anything else on this. For now, though, at least until Jason Schreier comes out with his article. Here's the thing, man. Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy are no longer at Bungie. For whatever reason, maybe it was, obviously it's because of Payback being shut down, but perhaps Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy didn't want to continue working on just Destiny. They want to work on the next big project, as was pointed out by Jeff. And it's unfortunate, but I think reality is kind of staring us all in the face, and we'll get more confirmation from Jason's article today. I think that reality is that D3 is not something that's being made. And I know we just had a video about that yesterday, but whatever spinoff that Payback was going to be, that's dead in the water. A D3 is nowhere near in development. And it seems like everything is going to come down to Marathon. Bungie and Sony want to see how Marathon does. I don't know. I think it's foolish. I think that you have a winning horse, that being Destiny right now, and I think Destiny is worth your investment. I think D3, one of those incubation projects, should have been D3 that started years ago, and you could have still shipped out Marathon. You did Marathon 2025 and at D3 2026, or even 2027, but that's not how things worked out.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.
Guys, this is a long article. We're going to break this down. This is the article we have been waiting on, because not that I question the credibility of all the information that's come out here over the past 3 days, but this is from Jason Schreier, and he's covered so many stories, so many breaking stories, and he even covered the layoffs the last time it happened in Bungie. What we want to get from this article, and hopefully what it reveals to us, is more insight on what the hell is going on. Right. Now, Sony's Bungie faces reckoning after mass layoff. The creator of Halo and Destiny laid off more than 200 people this week, including several top executives. We knew that leadership was under fire because of the post that was put up by Bungie themselves, but the high-profile executives that are no longer at Bungie is wow. Luke Smith, Mark Noseworthy, those guys. Destiny changed. This week, Sony Group's Corp's Bungie shrunk from 1,300 employees to roughly 850, deep cuts that are likely to change the nature of the long-running video game development. Bungie, the story creator of the Halo franchise and the online game Destiny, said it laid off 220 people Wednesday. Those cuts included several top executives who have been with the company for decades, according to people familiar. The teams that were hit hard included audio, narrative, and player support. On social media, individuals shared their layoff stories, including one person who said that they were set to go on maternity leave starting Monday. The company said it is also hoping to move 155 others to Sony Interactive Entertainment, while a separate group will spin out a new game company within Sony, continue working on an incubation project codenamed Gummy Bears. That is the second layoff in less than a year for the revered game studio, which was founded in 1991 and has created two of the industry's biggest franchises in Halo and Destiny. But ambitious growth and some big misses led Bungie to lose money over the last 2 years, forcing the developer to cut costs, freeze salaries, and shed hundreds of workers. This week, to learn more about what happened and what comes next, I spoke to 10 current and former Bungie employees who asked not to be identified because they were not authorized to speak to the press. They described a company that grew too fast and tried to develop too many projects at once, spreading resources too thin rather than prioritizing its chief moneymaker, Destiny 2. That's kind of what we've been asking for, is focus on just Destiny 2. Most of the people were critical of Chief Executive Officer Pete Parsons, saying that he had failed to take accountability for his own bad bets and that he'd been overly optimistic in his communication with the staff. Some said Parsons and other company leaders spoke the Bungie magic, a confident mantra similar to the ones preached by other elite video game studios, that they can make anything work out. The Bioware magic, Arcane magic, etc. Yeah, dude. Man, when you start seeing this preached as a mantra, I mean, it's normally a humbling moment is right around the corner, right? A Bungie spokesperson did not respond to the request for comment. Bungie first released Destiny in 2014 in partnership with Activision Blizzard Inc. under a contract that called for the developer to release a new product every year, full games alternating with expansions. The schedule proved untenable for Bungie, which cut ties with Activision in 2019 largely so it could continue updating Destiny 2 rather than start from scratch with another sequel. Since then, Bungie has transformed Destiny 2 into a live service game, updating it with the new content and regular expansions. In early 2022, during an era of low interest rates and stronger post-COVID sales across the industry, Sony purchased Bungie for $3.6 billion. Looking at Destiny 2 as a model for its growing ambitions in live service games. Flush with cash, Bungie hired hundreds of new staff members and pursues a myriad incubation projects, including mobile versions of Destiny, remakes of old games, and new franchises. Mobile version of Destiny? How would that even be possible? Look, man, I'm not entirely against having mobile version of Destiny. You're on the road, you want to pull your phone out, lose some chests, hopefully get another exotic class item that might be the role you're looking for. I just don't see how it's possible. But the following year, as the industry's pandemic surge slackened, Bungie grappled with several problems. An expansion called Lightfall failed to impress fans, while Marathon, an extraction shooter game that was well into development, struggled to coalesce. Meanwhile, the next Destiny 2 expansion, called The Final Shape, was also floundering and needed more time to come together. During one grim meeting in late 2023, according to the people familiar, Parsons told staff that the company had missed its revenue targets by 45% and was losing money. Bungie delayed The Final Shape, and Marathon has subsequently laid off around 100 employees. Feeling pressure from a parent company seeking increased profitability and facing its own set of challenges, Bungie executives charted a new course. Both Marathon and Destiny 2 received new leadership as Sony's video game unit replaced its CEO and laid off 900 people. Hold on, can somebody explain this sentence a bit more? Both Marathon and Destiny 2 received new leadership as Sony's video game unit replaced its CEO and laid off 900 people. Okay. So that's right. Marathon, Destiny 2's game director Joe ended up leaving, right? Green took over. Marathon, Christopher Barrett left or moved to some other position, and in the process, the guy from Valorant took over. Okay, gotcha. And in the process, Sony's video game unit replaced its CEO and laid off 900 people. Earlier this year, Sony Interactive Entertainment chairman Hiroki Tataki publicly criticized Bungie, saying he wanted to see more accountability. Employees were hopeful that the extra time on The Final Shape would lead to a great product. The expansion received rave reviews. The critical acclaim had little impact on the deeper cuts that were already in the works at Bungie, as GameFile's Stephen Totilo reported on Thursday. In a blog post announcing the layoffs this week, Parsons acknowledged that the company had grown too much. We were overly ambitious, our financial safety margins were subsequently exceeded, and we began running in the red, he wrote. One of Bungie's big bets was Payback, an incubation project set in the Destiny universe that would shake up the formula in major ways, according to the people familiar. It would pivot from a first-person to a third-person perspective and allow players to use the franchise's characters to explore a large world while cooperating to battle monsters and solve puzzles. The pitch took elements from popular games such as Warframe and Genshin Impact. Look, I'm all for a game in the Destiny universe. I'm all for a large world to explore and cooperating with other people and battling monsters. But if there was something I could put under the umbrella of Bungie magic, it is its shooting mechanics as a first-person shooter. Now, Destiny is unique because you have like abilities that take you into third person. You have certain weapons that take you into third person, but at its core is a first-person shooter. Gotta sell skins. You know that's why there's a big pitch on like third-person games, guys, right? A huge reason why third person is really pitched hard is for skins. People are more likely to buy skins, buy any type of apparel, buy any type of drip, because you're looking at your character. But I personally don't like, I like first person. I like the gameplay of a good first person game. Now, although several internet rumors over the last few months have suggested that Payback would be a sequel to Destiny 2, it was a significant departure from the previous two games, according to the people familiar, and would have been perceived more as a spin-off. But 2 months ago, Bungie canceled Payback to prioritize games that were more imminent, moving the bulk of its team to Marathon, which is targeting a release in 2025. Okay, so 2 months ago. So this would have been 2 months ago, just a few weeks after the video showcasing what Bungie was cooking for the final shape, and more specifically, the video where Luke Smith was talking to us directly and said, this is not it for Destiny, we have more to share, yada yada, right? Now, the company also plans to continue updating Destiny 2, although it will no longer pursue regular paid expansions as it did in the past, according to the people familiar. During one recent meeting, a company leader told attendees that sales of each expansion had declined year over year, including June's The Final Shape, so they would be moving away from an annual release model. Some staff said they're optimistic about the vision for Destiny 2 under the new director, Tyson Green. I do like Tyson Green a lot. A Bungie veteran who took the helm earlier this year. In the coming months, the people said Bungie will look to retain and attract players with smaller scale content drops modeled after Into the Light, a well-received update in April that added a new mode to the game. Rather than selling this content, they said Bungie will aim to release it for free. Rather than selling this content, they said Bungie will aim to release it for free along with overhauls to activities that it hopes will appeal to hardcore players. Other vague plans for the future include storyline that will feature characters and worlds that Destiny has not yet explored. Look, let me just say this. Into the Light was fantastic. I mean, don't get me wrong, Final Shape was the best expansion Bungie's ever done, but Into the Light was the ramp up for Final Shape. However, I think they needed each other. An Into the Light update all on its own wouldn't be as good if we didn't know what we were working to prepare for. We were working to prepare for the Witness and that impending doom. And then the Final Shape needed Into the Light to get people back into the game, to incentivize them to start playing every single day. It was a great onboarding expansion. My thing with this, how's Bungie going to make money off of this? Not that that should really be a concern, because we should just care about the content being fun. But if they're having an issue with money, but it's for free, are they just going to hope Eververse carries this thing? All right, let's continue. Fans have wondered if Bungie might one day start anew with a Destiny 3, but such a project has not been in development, according to the people familiar. Bungie instead looking to create a smoother onboarding process for Destiny 2, such as rebranding to attract new players who might be turned off by a game that can now feel impenetrable to those unfamiliar with its ample proper nouns. Those left at Bungie will now have to make do with a smaller staff, tighter schedules, and a company that looks significantly different than it did 3 days ago. Longtime veterans Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy exited this week, according to the people familiar, as did several other top leaders, leaving lingering questions about the future of decision-making at Bungie. Bungie staff who lost their jobs are receiving packages that include at least 3 months of severance and health benefits, said the people familiar. But just like last year's layoff, anyone who receives stock from the Sony purchase that is not yet vested will watch it disappear. Another painful twist for the turbulent acquisition. Wait, hold up. Anyone who receives stock from the Sony purchase that is not yet vested will watch it disappear. Look, I don't want to get too hung up on the stock thing. You know, that's for another time. This has nothing to do with the fact that Bungie is or has been losing lots of money. And obviously, there's been some great mismanagement going on. I think what's so unfortunate about this, let me ask you if this is probably used as leverage. Hey, we may not pay you as much, you know, maybe you get 80 cents on the dollar in comparison to someone in this industry, but we'll be able to compensate you through these vested stocks. Is that a tool for leveraging a lower salary? God, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. All right. First up, let's cover everything, because a lot was being said here. I think some of the big points pulled out of this article. There was a mobile version of Destiny. What the hell? It's not that I'm against the mobile version of Destiny. It would probably increase the player counts, I'm sure. I just don't see how that could possibly run. But if there is some way to make it happen and I can, you know, go and pick up some bounties or something, you know, check out some vendors, maybe. But it definitely shouldn't be a priority. As in, you shouldn't be taking a portion of your studio and being like, we're gonna work on Destiny mobile and take away from content that's being made for Destiny. This other thing, the other big thing that's even crazier to me is that the project that Mark and Luke Smith were working on in the incubation project Payback was third person. I love the other stuff. You know, I love the idea of playing different franchise characters. Cade, I for Saladin, exploring a large world. I don't know what kind of monsters and puzzles they would be, but it sounds cool. I just don't like the third person part, you know? I think first person is just Bungie's bread and butter. Look, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I can't help but be intrigued. I kind of wish we could have seen maybe some gameplay. I wonder how far it got into the development process. But I know third person is not what we want. But I'm curious. Like, okay, what do you got? What have you made? Because Remnant is really good. Remnant is one of our favorite. We love Remnant. It's essentially Souls, but with gods, right? Dark Souls, but with gods. I'm curious, you know, is this game, was it just going to be like Remnant? So some things right here, guys. Can I just say, and I know people are going to call me crazy, I still have faith. Not a lot of faith, but unless I see Tyson Green leave, until that moment, until Tyson Green literally types on Twitter, this is my final day of Bungie. It's been a great 30-something years. Until I see that tweet that I'm almost certain he probably has copy pasta somewhere for that moment, I'm gonna still have some little bit of faith. I swear to God, if that tweet comes out Monday morning, I'm done. It's dead. It's over. So some other things to take away. Okay, Gummy Bears is still going, but it's under Sony's umbrella, right? Destiny 3 is not being worked on, won't be worked on, will probably never be worked on. Guys, just face it, D3, it ain't a thing, man. It ain't a thing. And many people were let go, including veterans like Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy. Some of this information is things you know or knew from previous articles we already covered. I think the biggest thing, though, is this right here. Is this thing. It says, during a recent meeting, a company leader told attendees that sales of each expansion had declined year over year, including June's the final shape. So they will be moving away from an annual release model, and instead they're going to be moving into smaller scale content drops modeled after Into the Light. It doesn't sound good. It sounds like a scale back. Oh yeah, let me clarify. Luke Smith and Mark Noseworthy were not let go, they resigned. Yes. Here's what I think ended up happening. We said this earlier today. I think that they were approached by maybe Pete or whoever else and was told that, hey, listen, we're not doing Payback. We're not doing any of these other incubation games, and we're not doing a D3. If you want to work here, you can go work back on D2 again. And I'm sure Luke and Mark were probably like, no, I don't think we're going to do that. Oh, so 6 roles just opened up. Destiny gameplay designer, senior to staff, hybrid Bungie approved remote locations, game design, Destiny principal communication manager, publishing and marketing, Marathon principal product manager, live commerce, Marathon senior AI designer, game design, Marathon weapon designer, mid to senior, release manager, publishing and marketing. So these are the 6 positions that just opened up. That game is not coming out next year. Guys, I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Bungie's got a choice. I think Marathon has to come out next year. If they're in trouble money-wise, and Sony is literally they are literally riding them to get this thing out, I think Marathon's got to come out. Of course, we all know it's gonna fail. I always give everything a fair shake. Okay, I always give everything a fair shake. I'm willing to give Marathon a fair shake. No lie, I would have given Payback a fair shake. All right, Bungie, I'm not necessarily I'm not wanting a third-person Destiny, but all right, let me see it. I'll give it a fair shake.
Slap that like button like your mama told you right.
Mr. Beast is sending out some cease and desists. Yeah, he's sending final warning, cease and desist, try and shut people down.
Ladies and gentlemen, Mr. Beast's team is doubling down with another cease and desist. This time, the final warning.
That's a Dogpack. That's the guy that made that really popular video.
Dogpack 404, who you all may know as the creator of the Mr. Beast is a fraud video. At this point, that thing is freaking global. It's at about 7, almost 8
crazy
million
amount of
views.
views.
So we could just go ahead and hop on over here to Twitter and see the cease and desist letter that Dogpack 404 was sent. Ladies and gentlemen, here it is. Cease and desist, final warning. He added fun.
That would be funny if the legal team, if Mr. Beast's legal team did send him that emoji. Like that would be funny, but probably
little
wouldn't happen.
emoji. Dear Mr. Dogpack, obviously that's his real name. This firm, new firm whose white-collar criminal defense practice is second to none, according to their website, has recently been retained by Mr. Beast YouTube LLC, Mr. Beast or the company, Lethal Company, and its founder Jimmy Donaldson regarding the unsettling news that you have embarked on a campaign to disparage Mr. Beast as a company and defame Jimmy Donaldson as an individual. Not only are your statements about Mr. Beast and Jimmy Donaldson untrue, they also violate the clear, binding, enforceable terms of your confidentiality and non-disclosure agreement with Mr. Beast.
I'm gonna be real, I do think that this dude, this Dogpack guy, he did go, he went pretty hard on Mr. Beast, and I wouldn't be surprised if they could probably get him on a couple of things that at least would be enough to have a trial for defamation. He did, he had some real opinions on that, right? Let's see what happens. Well, yeah, we'll see what happens. Hopefully they stream the trial.
Dated March 25th, 2024. The NDA agreement, which you have shown in videos posted to the
Doesn't
internet.
matter if it's an NDA agreement because the NDA can't stop you from talking about things that were illegal, and he is talking about things that were illegal, so this is a stupid argument. Why the fuck did you even say this?
Now, right here where it says your statements about Mr. Beast and Jimmy Donaldson are untrue, he says, then prove it. You have all the footage, but instead of posting any, you've just been deleting more. Now, ladies and gentlemen, I've been seeing a lot of people mention, luckily Dogpack 404 here, he's being covered. He's protected by a Whistleblower Act. And if you don't know what a
Many
whistleblower...
non-disclosure agreements are illegal and void when they attempt to limit reporting of a crime. Yeah, everybody knows this, but the thing is, calling Mr. Beast a fraud categorically or saying that he's doing certain things categorically is different than saying that a specific instance was breaking the law. I do think that Dogpack needs to watch what's going on. I do. I really think he's got to watch about it, right? You don't want Dogpack to go to Pack Watch.
Act is. It's basically someone inside of a company who leaks information that may be covered by an NDA if it is breaking the law, or if somehow it is dangerous, or it falls into this U.S. Department of Labor's, forms of whistleblower protections, right? The Department of Labor is here to protect your rights. An employer cannot retaliate against you for exercising your rights under the Department of Labor whistleblower protection laws, and retaliation includes such actions as firing or laying off, demoting, denying overtime.
It's got nothing to fucking do with it because he was already unemployed by then.
Promotion, or reducing pay or hours. As you can see on this
got nothing
website,
to
the
do with it.
National Whistleblower Center, we have a rundown of basically how, it describes what an NDA is. It's a legal contract between two parties, employer and an employee, prohibits the sharing of information deemed confidential, right? However, such agreements can be used to silence whistleblowers in order to keep illegal activity under wraps. Additionally, NDA may prohibit the employee from informing the government about the existence of the NDA and the restrictions placed upon them. Now, these are going to be linked below. Lots of great useful resources, and you can kind of come to your own conclusions.
Yeah.
But what we're looking at here is a situation where if Dogpack404 can confirm that the things in his videos are either opinion-based, or he can prove that he's looking at public information like the MrBeast streams, MrBeast videos that are posted to YouTube. He can argue that he's simply just a whistleblower, or that he's covering public information. And now we did cover in the past.
No, I don't think so. I really don't think so. So the reason why is that covering public information still keeps you liable because you have an obligation to not be grossly negligent or completely misinterpret what happened. Like, just because you hear something from somebody else or you interpret it a certain way doesn't necessarily mean that you're immune from defamation. But that is an extreme case, and I don't think that his extreme is there. But the concerns that I have is that he made a number of kind of general statements about MrBeast, and I'm concerned that those general statements are the ones that are going to be the highest degree of liability. Because, like, for example, him saying the MrBeast giveaways are a scam, I don't think that one's as problematic, but it might be. It's hard to say. You have to prove that he knew the statement was fake? No, you don't. You can also prove that he didn't know that it was fake, but he posted it with no regard to the truth. Like, there's a reckless abandon. Like, you basically, like, you didn't do it on purpose, but you didn't give a fuck so much that it might as well have been on purpose. It's like the same, like logical context as, gross negligence still making you liable, even though you might have signed a waiver to waive liability. Like, that's kind of, like, that's a parallel kind of close, right?
Past how the original cease and desist was pretty interesting because it was almost like an admission of guilt of all of the things that Dogpack mentioned in the original video.
I don't think that's like, the truth is that a cease and desist is not an admission of guilt, but it's perceived that way.
Really much information related to libel, slander. It was more about the fact that Dogpack was revealing insider information, which is quite weird because if nothing in that video that is almost at 7 million followers now is real, what is it revealing? Now in this tweet, we're going to be diving into some very...
Somebody says, what the fuck, suing for defamation in itself is fraud. He's making statements where he says, in my opinion, he stated it so many times on certain topics based on evidence and statistics he gathered. Would you not agree with that statement? No, I wouldn't. I think that if you post public information out there and the public information was released with no regard to what the truth was, if this can be proven in a court, I don't think that saying it's just my opinion is a get-out-of-jail-free card. I think that if you allow that to happen, you open up the possibility for a number of other types of abuses to happen that are probably better left undone. So I understand what you're saying, but I don't think that saying, in my opinion, I don't think this is a complete, like, get-out-of-jail-free card. And I'm not taking MrBeast's side on this, by the way. I'm saying, like, from what my understanding of the law is, I am concerned. That doesn't mean I think he's wrong. I'm not sure. Court case would require public basic discovery, so if we go to court, we'll get all the information as to whether they're fake or not. That's true. It's like saying in Minecraft. Yeah, exactly.
Very, very harsh allegation territory, right? So all of this is alleged. All of this is based on just me reading public information, right? But again, allegedly, this is happening. Dogpack says, also my number got leaked, apparently from a Mr. Beast employee named Kaylee. I've been getting texts from former Mr. Beast employees. Text I received last night claims that Jimmy, Mr. Beast, wants to have private investigators start following me and looking into my family's social media accounts to find ways to discredit me. Apparently the best—
Damn, bro. Mr. Beast is going mafia. Oh, shit.
best narrative they have right now is that I'm a crazy drug-addicted Mr. Beast superfan that got fired for trying to steal company funds.
Yeah, that's actually what they should have gone with from the beginning. The person who made the post about it originally shouldn't have addressed any of the concerns. They should have only destroyed his credibility. And I think that if they had done that, it would have turned out better for them than if they had tried to address, no, the raccoon actually was an actor. Like, that's the dumbest fucking thing. Because, like, the guy did come off like a bit of a schizo, especially at the beginning of the video. And that's the part everybody is going to see. And it's not that that would be, that's not a morally good thing to do. But, like, in terms of effectiveness, I think that's what they should have gone with instead of trying to actually attack the arguments. They should have attacked his character instead. It was a mistake.
Now, does that surprise anyone? I mean, it's very possible. Again, allegations, none of this may be true.
Yeah.
Does it surprise anyone that a millionaire, one of the most successful YouTube channels of all time, would be trying to silence someone? And the best way to do that is by trying to paint them out to be deceptive, lying, kind of like we've seen.
Well, of course, that's what they should do. Yeah, absolutely. And I think that it also, by the way, there's an element of authenticity of that. Yes. If somebody is a drug addict that got fired after only working there for a month, I would absolutely, that would definitely be a negative in terms of me interpreting their testimony as being right or not. Absolutely, it would be. I mean, yeah, like for any normal person, it would be, yeah, for sure you should take this into consideration. It's not even a question.
He tried to do, kind of like we've seen people like Nathan who leaked the 500,000 Discord messages.
That's a lot.
Get silenced. Would it be surprising?
The website hosted Chris Tyson Mr. Beast Discord links was taken down yesterday morning and served with what we can only assume is a cease and desist. They terminated everything to do with the website and the repository with no notice. That's crazy.
That these companies, you know, are going out to Dogpack and saying, you're crazy, you're crazy, you're crazy, right? He says, if this text is true, I will say, Mr. Beast, if you want to resort to personal attacks, I'm happy to reciprocate, or, you know, just address the evidence. So we have the text here. It says, dude, has anyone at Beast contacted you about the post you're making? I've been reading the NDA over to see what I can and can't post because I'd like to move on with my life and try having some type of social media presence. Not planning on ever mentioning I worked at Beast, but if it got out or if somehow, some way I accidentally mentioned it, I wanted to make sure I was going to get sued to hell.
Yeah, sure.
Also, if you're going to post my message for proof you worked at Beast, I don't care. Just don't show my number. You can save it how you want.
Okay.
Also, I got your number from Kaylee. I don't have access to anything Beast like Slack or anything. Obviously, I'm not a Beast employee. I'm a former employee. Someone else I know told me they texted you on Reddit talking about Kaylee and Leroy. I'm not that person, and I won't mention any current or former Mr. Beast employees because of NDA.
Yeah, sure.
And then we have another one here. It says Dawson. Again, that's Dogpack's name. I'm texting you anonymously to let you know that I heard James wants to have private investigators.
Bro, they using first names? Bro, he's got the mark of the beast on him now. Oh my god.
Start following you and looking into every detail of your life.
Shit.
He wants him to reach out to your former employees, find all your social media accounts, your family's social media accounts, videos of you, anything. They already have a Google Doc listing possible ways to discredit you, including you're on drugs and have mental health problems, your mom is bipolar, you're an obsessed superfan, you're crying, begging for your job back after they fired you, you tried to steal company funds, etc.
Yeah, and by the way, if this stuff was true, I would immediately take what Dogpack was saying less seriously. Like, I would. Absolutely. And I would take everything with way more, I would be much more discerning. Absolutely.
I don't know what's true.
Mom is bipolar.
What's
Good
not,
one.
but personally, I really think you should just take everything down ASAP. If you take it down, they'll leave you alone.
Of course they will.
So at this point, they've gone from cease and desist to allegedly, possibly, none of this is true, having people, unknown numbers that have never been in contact with Dawson,
Yeah.
do not and should not have his phone number and private information, reaching out to him saying, hey buddy, it'd be a real shame if someone were to slander you and ruin your whole life, unless of course you just took the video down. I mean, that would be an easy solution.
Bro, he doing mafia tactics. That's smart.
Right?
Yep.
And now this last video shows him receiving the text, and he said, you're trolling, what? And it says this number is no longer in service. He says, what the F? It says stop. He says, what? Stop. This is so creepy. Leave.
Hello?
Hello? What? Very creepy. I don't know if that's some type of like, maybe
I
they
don't know.
used a Google number, some type of throwaway number, and it's giving bot replies. I don't know. I've never seen a bot reply leave before though. That's very interesting, very creepy. Getting Squid Game vibes. You know how Jimmy loves them Squid Games, allegedly.
Yeah.
I feel like I gotta say that after every single thing I say nowadays, because I might look out my window and see
He's gonna be there.
Mr. Beast or Chris Tyson with his Chris dog out.
Oh.
You never know. Now,
Watch
I actually
out.
reached out to Dogpack on Twitter. He was nice enough to reply. He let me know that he's been watching the videos. He's loving the coverage. You guys are loving the coverage. I'm grateful that I'm able to do this and, you know,
Yeah.
make a little bit
This
of
dude
money.
seems to be guessing about everything. I mean, like, I don't think it's really like that. Like, I mean, for example, like, I mean, having, like, if I was Mr. Beast, what would I do? Like, if I was in his situation, I would maybe try the intimidation route. I mean, that's definitely, like, kind of a good idea, right? I mean, the Mafia, there's a reason why the Mafia does it. It's because it works. And so, that's so scum? Well, I'm not, the guy's already scum, right? I mean, I'm saying, like, if I was Mr. Beast, like, I'm just thinking about, like, how would I think about it? How would I approach it? So, yeah, I feel like it only works in a week. Yeah, but it's smart to try that first, right? Because if you can, then that solves the problem before it becomes a problem. Try to have everything plausible deniability, then admit you're nothing wrong. Yeah. I don't know, like, yeah. I wonder what's going to happen with this, because, yeah, Mr. Beast video, we hire a hitman. Oh, that would be good. And if he deletes his video, so what? You and I, people already talked about it and have videos, yeah. And that's the other thing is, like, I feel like once something like this gets out, you can't really put the, you know, you ever try and put toothpaste back in a toothpaste thing? It doesn't happen, right? You ever try to, you know, like uncrumple a sheet of paper? Like, it doesn't happen. Like, that's it. It's broken. It's done. So it's already out there, is what I'm saying. Is that it's not going back in the box. Like, it's done.
Maybe I can quit my job one day and do
They
this
contact me?
full time.
But did they
Either
contact
way,
me?
he
No.
reached out to me. I asked him a few very
No, they don't have
important
anything
questions.
down
I
to do
think
with
I asked him, I'm curious on a few things. When did you decide you want to make a video on Mr. Beast? What made you want to do it? And did it have anything to do with leaving the job? Plus, did you think his content was all fake or a scam before ago? I just felt like the Mr. Beast company needed to be exposed. I really tried hard to change things from within the company, like bringing up the predatory advertising practices to higher ups and suggesting ways to make the competitions more fair. So if this is true,
I thought you only
Mr.
worked there a
Beast was
month.
like, more fair? Nah. Predatory practices, that's good. He says it was frustrating. Also, they didn't reimburse me for travel, which was promised. Would have been like $300. Such a greedy company.
That's crazy.
I don't know how many times I should
Should've paid
mention
him
Mr. Beast makes hundreds of
Should have paid him the $300, man. Should have given him that $300. God. What a
millions of
mistake.
dollars a year. He says, I knew the videos were fake, but to an extent, but seeing Mac was a surprise. I feel like those vids were completely scripted and him being in the vids was like a part of his compensation. Definitely didn't think he was running illegal lotteries or fake giveaways. Now, a bit of good news, my friends. Nathan W., who's the one who ended up leaking out the Chris Tyson 500,000 messages
Yeah.
from the creepy Discord. Their video.
I
or
love
the-
how people think they're going to be able to take this off. Like, bro, after this information comes out, like, think about this. The United States government couldn't shut down WikiLeaks. What do you fucking think you're going to do? Stop it. Just fucking stop it. Just that's it. It's out. right? It's out. Like, it's not going back in. It's out.
Their website got cease and desisted the other day. Everything was taken down silently,
Is it
quietly.
arrogant? Yeah.
He announces
Like
the-
Disney, Cinemax, Metro Golden Mayer, fucking Warner Brothers can't shut down the Pirate Bay. The United States government can't shut down WikiLeaks. But you think that you as a YouTuber are gonna be able to shut down somebody? Absolutely fucking delusional. Completely delusional.
The Chris Tyson from Mr. Beast
Read those
Discord links
DMs?
have been successfully re-uploaded by Uncensored V. You can view them here. I'm going to censor this just to protect myself, but you guys are more than welcome to check out Nathan W's Twitter.
Yeah.
Go check out the leaks. Go make some backups. Do what you want to do to preserve this information before the next cease and desist comes, because you probably know it's right around the corner. Either way, guys, that's a bit of a small update. As always, you know, I'm doing research. I'm looking into Chris Tyson's YouTube channel that is now a fan page. I'm looking into that right now. I'm looking into this Comic-Con situation. A whole lot more
fan like
content.
the
Just keep those
Kendrick
likes coming,
Lamar,
keep those
the
subs
song.
coming. Keep sharing,
freaky
keep liking.
ass.
I love doing this. Love you guys. Peace out.
Right. Okay. So here's really what's going on. Mr. Beast is going to be doing himself literally zero favors by sending cease and desist. Like, nobody is going to give a fuck about this. The information is already out there. At this point, if you go and you put the like, it makes you look. And by the way, a cease and desist is not an admission of guilt, but it looks like it is. It looks like it is. And so when you see somebody trying to take down a video like this, you know, how many times have y'all heard they tried to stop me from speaking out because I was telling the truth? That's just the way that people think. And so, yeah, like those overtakes doc situation online, yeah, because, I mean, the docs, there's nothing really more to it than that, right? That's it. And so, you should have joked and doubled down. Yeah, what's better in your opinion, like denying it or just ignoring it? What if I would, like, I mean, I wonder if we could go into a parallel universe if Mr. Beast just said, yeah, I understand that there's some accusations about the company. Most of them are untrue, and the ones that are true, we're going to investigate them. And then he said, by the way, there's a new video coming out tomorrow. And that'd be it. Like, that'd literally just be it, right? That'd be smart. Yeah, just say, yeah, that's basically what happened. Investigate. You're saying, so, yeah, we had an internal investigation. My brother investigated it, and he said that I didn't do anything wrong. And so, yeah, well, anyway, so we locked in, you know, 50 12-year-olds in a chocolate factory, and guess which one died first? You know, there's the video. Go watch it. Maybe he's gonna stop further getting shit out. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, he's a physician. Yeah, no. The more that you spend, the more time that you spend talking about it, the worse it is. Like, that's the way I see it, right? I believe he did that. Yeah, no, but that's what you should do, right? No, I'm saying like a private investigator is different than like investigating yourself, right? Like, for example, like, no, they hired a law firm. They're gonna go through everything, etc. Like, I don't necessarily think that they need to even do that. Because, and here's the reason why they don't need to do that. It's because it's not gonna change anybody's mind. Like, if you have a third-party investigation look into this and they say that you didn't know anything, people will just say that they're paid and it's biased. Like, that's it. Like, there's never gonna be a point where, and this is something that people don't understand because they think that the truth matters. It never matters. Nobody gives a fuck about the truth. People care about what sounds good. And so if you go and you say, oh, well, you were wrong, why would a person, if a person thought that Mr. Beast was okay with Chris being a freak, why would they want to be told that they were wrong? Why would they accept that they were wrong? Just because of evidence? Well, fuck, evidence didn't stop people from thinking the earth is flat. It didn't stop people from thinking all kinds of shit. So what are we really talking about how, oh, it's evidence? Nobody is obligated to listen to evidence. So you need to do something stronger than that. That's the thing. The funniest part is the third party is a bought commodity. They have no real reason to publish what's found. They do, actually. So, like, as a third-party investigator, if you are found to be, like, investigating something in a bad way, like, that's your reputation on the line. So like if they investigate it and Mr. Beast tells the results and he says they're the wrong results, that legal team will literally sue him and like fucking destroy his company. So like you can't do that. You think about it, right? Like how could you possibly do that? True evidence won't stop me from eating scented candles. Exactly, right? If they settle for defamation, how much do you think Mr. Beast's image is worth? I don't know, probably like $1 billion, something like that. I'd say it's $1 billion company. It's massive. Yeah, 100%. How can someone defeat Beast if he's a billionaire? People do that all the time. I mean, it's not really a big deal. It's just that I don't know if there's going to be enough evidence. That's really the concern. Attack the character, pretend it doesn't matter, make an amazing video, and everybody will forget about it. Yeah, exactly. Like, you want to know why people don't give a fuck about Chris Brown beating the shit out of Rihanna anymore? It's because simple. Chris Brown's making music again. That's what matters. And so, like, all he has to do is just stop thinking about this, worry about it at all, right? I mean, who cares? I hate that shit. Yeah, but like, I'm telling you, that's just the truth. He already paid for his crimes? Well, I don't know. She also abused him too? For sure. Goldfish public memory? It's not goldfish. See, like, the goldfish memory implies that the public forgets. The public doesn't forget. The public just stops caring. They still remember that this happened, but it's just like, yeah, but like, that was a long time ago. Right? That's different. And so the same thing is going to happen with a lot of these things. You think Mr. Beast is guilty? I feel like you take this many shots, you're probably going to have a couple of hits. But is he guilty of everything that he's accused of? Probably, like, I think both things are true. He's probably not guilty of everything, and he probably is guilty of something. Now, where on the spectrum are we? I think probably towards the not that many things, but a few things for sure. Right? That's what I'm kind of expecting, right? But I'm not sure. Well said. Yeah, you always say apologize is the worst thing you can do. He should just ignore it and make content. Exactly. The best apology is better content. I think the faster that Mr. Beast just makes videos again, because like you really think that YouTubers are gonna be like, oh, well, we don't want to be in a Mr. Beast video when the video gets 200 million views? Nah, bro. People are gonna be like, oh, well, it's different. He didn't know. They're gonna start running defense for him. So all you got to do is keep advocating and doing what's in your best interest, and you're gonna come out ahead every single time, man. Like, people are gonna figure out a way. They're gonna be bending over backwards for you. Like, think about how many people go and like talking around the problems that, like, let me think, like China, right? People don't want to criticize China as much on social media. Influencers don't, because there's a lot of brand deals that come from China. That's just the way it is. It's the same as the NBA. I mean, look at John Cena, right? I mean, there's another one. And so you double down. You always double down. Always double down. Never, ever, ever capitulate. That's the way it is. And so also did nothing a traditional TV did before. A judge wouldn't hammer that? Yeah. And so you have a lot of this shit that happens. Everybody always talks around it, acts like it's not a big deal. Because if there's clout to be made, if there's clout to be farmed, that matters a hell of a lot more than anything else to these people. And that's just a fact. That's just a fact. And I know, honestly, I know people don't like the way that I talk about this shit. I know people, they don't like the fact that I say it in this way, and they think that I should act like it's much worse. I should be grandstanding and talking about how bad it is, etc. I think they should be held accountable too. But all I'm saying is that this is a good video, by the way. I'm gonna link y'all this video. There it is. Give it a like. Give this guy a sub. Cam Nuggets. I never heard of him. So yeah. Mr. Beast finds Doc's victim and release the logs, take the heat off him. That's smart. Yeah, absolutely. People always figure out a reason and an excuse for why stuff that's bad isn't bad, because they just want it to be okay. That's the reason why. That's always how it is. It's always how it's going to be, too. It's always how it's going to be.
Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted. Insufficient power. Insufficient power. Warp drive active. To give the command to a drone requires you to have an active target. Warp drive active. Docking permission requested. Docking request accepted.
Guys, I'm gonna end it here. Haven't been really productive lately, but we'll get there. These are basically almost done. I've been saying that for a couple streams now, but it's true. I have something to do today, so I need to go to sleep. Otherwise, I won't be able to wake up for it. So that's why I'm kind of going now. Yeah, take care. Bye bye. We'll be back later tonight.